So I've had a lot of requests about this. Let's talk about timing.
Necronomicon is coming.
So along with all of the details in the Necronomicon that talk about what materials to use to make different tools and exactly how to draw different seals, sigils, and signs, one of the biggest things that I've gotten a lot of questions about is the timing of all of these different rituals, like when to make the seals, when to make the gates, when exactly to walk the gates, and exactly when to work with certain energies and work with certain entities in the book. So I thought I'd make a little bit of progress on talking about this issue by chatting about the timing of particularly seals, for starters. And my cat keeps going nuts over here. So the seals for the Zonai, which is those of you that have been studying the Necronomicon or watched any of my videos, you know that you have to create a seal and a gate for use in the gate walking rituals. I think my computer's a little laggy today. I don't know why. So if there's glitches in the video, blame my machine. So when it comes to making the seals, if you read the section in the book, which is, I actually have it on my phone right here. If my phone would also work properly, that'd be great. Let's see. I don't know. If you read the section of the Zonai and their attributes, it discusses each of the 7 Zonai that you are to work with in the gatewalking experience. In my rewrite of the book, I have added a couple of details, including when exactly to make the seals. So, for example, as you're going through the creations of the seals, we all know that we can, if you're going to make a gate on paper, then you could do that prior to the ritual, or even, during the ritual, or right before it, when you're supposed to draw the gate in the dirt. You could also draw it on poster or what have you. When you're making the seals for these particular energies, there are some rules to follow. So let me walk through. The first Zonai that you work with is, of course, Nana, the moon. Now, the book says, if I can go down to it, let's see where I put it. This is a seal which you must engrave on his metal on the 13th day of the moon. Plain and simple, right there. Now, particularly, you would make the seal on the 13th day of the moon previous to your gate walk. Now, it's going to get a little fishy after I talk about this stuff, so I'll try to really flesh it out for you guys. So, the next one, Nebo, or Mercury, says, let's see. So, this is a seal which you must write on perfect parchment or on the broad leaf of a palm tree, having no other person about you who may watch you in its construction. Being finished, it should be wrapped in a square of the finest silk and lain aside until which time as you desire its use, and then should be removed only, which means taken out of hiding, only when its light is in the sky, or when Mercury can be seen in the night sky. Now, there's a lot of apps that you can use, or even like different calendars. I bet you could do a simple Google search and find out the next time that Mercury is going to be visible. Well, you got to find the time when Mercury is visible, when it's also at a full moon, to do the gate walk. Once again, it's going to get a little confusing as we keep going here. Try to flesh it all out at the end. Next one, Venus, or Inanna, or Easter. So let's see. Now, a couple of peculiar things about Inanna. It says, let's see. Her aspects can be the goddess of passion, both of love and war, depending on her sign and the time of her appearance in the heavens. I put that Inanna is seen as the goddess of love during Venus's normal progression through the sky, but speaks of war and strife during retrograde periods. Now, if you do a little research into astrology, you understand that retrograde is when a planet's normally moving across the sky, but retrograde is when it actually seems to go backwards. And that means that the normal aspects of that planet are kind of pulled more inward or reversed. As it goes on, it says that when Nana and Inanna are in agreement, that is when their two planets are auspiciously aligned in the heavens. So if you were to check a transit chart and you find like the moon and Venus happen to be squaring something, or maybe sextile or trine, then that kind of indicates a upbringing of both of their energies. That's a little side note from the gate walking, but just walking you through the text here. So, as we go on, the seal for Nana. This is her seal, which you must engrave on copper, Venus being exalted in the heavens. Now, when it talks about a planet being exalted, that means that at that particular astrological time, that the planet that is of concern, which in this case is Venus, which is the same for all the other ones, when it's exalted, meaning when it is in its most auspicious or happiest astrological sign, or the sign that it is ruled by. So Venus, for example, is exalted in Pisces. Now that means to make the seal, you would have to look at an astrological calendar to find when Venus is in Pisces, and then you can make the seal, because you're calling in the energy from that planet. So when the planet is exalted, that's when it's most able to bestow its energies upon us. So if you were to make the Inanna seal, you would make that when Venus is in the constellation Pisces. Now, as we continue to carry on here, we're talking about the next one, which is the Sun, or Shamash. Now, Shamash is exalted when the Sun is in the constellation Leo. So once again, you would check an astrological calendar to see when the Sun is in Leo. And this one in particular, this is the seal that you can make during the day. Now, the next gate, which is Nergal, or Mars, the seal for that one needs to be made when Mars is exalted, or when Mars is in Aries. Once again, lather, rinse, repeat, check an astrological calendar to find when Mars, or Nergal, is in Aries to properly make the seal. The next seal of the Zonai would be that of Marduk, or Jupiter. Now, the seal for Marduk is to be made when Jupiter is exalted in the constellation Cancer. So once again, check an astrological calendar, find out when Jupiter happens to be in Cancer, and you can make the seal for that one. Let's see if my computer holds on to the video while I'm scrolling through here. I've had to stop it for several recordings. I'm sure you guys can tell. I don't know what's up with my computer today, but we're going with it. So, the last one, which is Saturn, which is Ninib, also called Adar. His seal has to be made, let's see, never be removed so it has to only be taken out at night. Has to be made on a leaden plate or bowl, or you could use construction paper and things like that if those other materials are hard to find. Just make sure that the color correspondences are good. Let's see. He actually doesn't have a specific time. However, the thing that you can check just to be in accordance with everything and kind of make everything a little special, we're going to go with Saturn exalted in, let's see, Saturn is exalted in Libra. So you would create the seal for Ninib, also known as Adar, which is Saturn, when Saturn is exalted in the constellation of Libra. So check an astrological calendar for that. As you can kind of tell, guys, all of this stuff is very astrological based. That is because this system in particular is based on the Chaldeans and the Chaldean Magi and Babylonian practices that worship everything around us and the stars. So, of course, all of those planetary energies moving around all the time, timing is extremely important. So when it comes to making all of these seals and gates, you're probably like, oh, I thought I could do this in like 9 or 10 months. Well, how can I do this if I have to wait for this planet to be in this sign and then create the seal? Well, for example, I believe, if I remember correctly, that one of the next planets that I'm going to be making a seal for example, I have to wait until, I believe, June or July to make it, because that's the next time that particular planet is in its exaltation. So for any beginning gatewalker person that might be wanting to go through with this, but they're still kind of learning everything and they haven't digested the book, start looking at an astrological calendar to find when you can make those seals, and then you can put them away until you're ready to use them. That way they are properly empowered with the astrological energies, and they are hidden away for a long enough time to, and here's the reason why this kind of happens. When you make something and you hide it away, it has energy behind it. And when you put it away, it's no longer in your face. It's no longer, you can't see it when you're walking through your room or whatever, because it's hidden. That's like being hidden in your subconscious. Now when this happens, you're kind of building energy up for it in your subconscious, because you remember you put it there, but you're going through all of your other daily activities, really feeling the energies around you and things like that. And even that seal, with the energy that's been called into it, will start to manifest out in your life, whether or not you have walked that particular gate. When it comes to other aspects of timing, now, after you make all these different seals, you can make the seals as you go through the gate walking, depending on the timing and stuff. The only important thing is that the gates are walked in their particular order, which is the Chaldean order of planets. So you have the moon, then you have, you have the moon, you have Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, in that order. So, other aspects of timing. Remember that gates are to be walked on the full moon every month. And, I have the other one in the back of my head, but I'm feeling like I'm missing one. Now, the Necronomicon talks about how different energies are in the angles and the spaces in between those spaces. Well, what does that mean? Take a look at the Wheel of the Year. People that are interested in paganism or may have dabbled in Wiccan or even know of the 8 Sabbats will understand that the Wheel of the Year, it's got those 4 corners, and then it's basically 8 corners. So that's 8 different angles, so to speak. It's like if you were looking at a compass, you have north, south, east, west, but you also have northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. Those are 8 directions. Now, those are the angles and the spaces. So workings such as the Aurelia text workings, or even I would venture to say the rites in the Book of Calling, should be mainly performed or are most powerful during those times at the angles in between the spaces. Now, so that would be the 8 Sabbats of the year. So you're talking like all the different solstices: winter, summer, spring, fall. Basically every 2 months there is one of those spaces in between the spaces. Look up a Wiccan calendar or the Wheel of the Year to get an idea. I just had another aspect that I wanted to talk about. Yes, that's it. Okay. Another angle in between the spaces you got to think of is those particular times of day. So you have it when it's darkest outside, when it's lightest outside, and at dawn and dusk. So those are the angles in between the spaces during your normal everyday. That's why a lot of these Necronomicon practitioners, and even the Necronomicon spellbook, formerly known as the Necronomicon Report, says that you should do these spells between 2 and 3 in the morning. Why? That's because it's the most quiet time that you're going to find during the day period. Like, I live around a bunch of other people, and there's been times when I've taken a walk at 2 in the morning, it seems dead here. Even though there's literally probably 1,000 people in the little area that I live, and there's people out walking their dogs and stuff all the time, it's just dead here. Even at like twilight hour or sunset, I can go walking in the woods and it just seems like there's nobody around. That's because those are the angles in between the spaces. That's a mysterious time when those little veils are very thin, or your senses are not tuned into everything going around you because it's so quiet, and you're able to tap into the spirit world a little bit more. So when it comes to doing summonings or evocations, or even Maklu burnings or different prayers or different offerings, check the angles and the times in between the spaces. Remember, that would be the 8 Sabbats of the year as dictated by the Wheel of the Year, and the brightest time of day, darkest time of day, dawn, and dusk. So remember all of those things when it comes to when should I do a spell for this? When should I do a spell for that? When should I work with this summoning? When should I pray to this Zonai? When should I make this name of Marduk? Those different things. now I decided to make a video about this because I'm actually starting to add these different aspects of timing into the edition of the Necronomicon that I'm rewriting. And my next project, once I get that done, is to actually go through the different gates themselves and kind of break it down to what gatewalkers can do after they do that gatewalk that during that full moon, because they have that full month that's they're supposed to be living in the energy of that particular planet. Well, how? There's different prayers that you can do. You can change the colors in your ritual space. You can change the colors that you wear. You can focus on different astrological aspects of that planet and how they play into your life by looking at your particular birth chart or transit charts, or even, a daily horoscope. All of those energies are the things that you're calling in when you're working with the Necronomicon and when you're going through the gatewalking. So I really feel like that is going to add such a deeper level to working with the text, rather than here's a gate, you walk it, it sets up challenges. Well, sometimes we got to be a little bit more active in our own self-improvement, and that's when we can take a look at the energies around us, how they really play into our lives given our birth charts, transit charts, things like that, and really start to just, create activities and focuses to finding out what those planetary energies are doing to us, or trying to help us do, or trying to prevent us from doing, and how we can conquer that. So I think this is a great thing that I'm starting on. Let me know if you guys think it's a great idea. Let me know if there's anything else that you think I should really kind of figure out and add to the manuscript, and also make a video about. Sorry that this video is a little choppy. My computer's a little bit off today, but I'm hoping this helps, and I'm hoping it's helping you guys to understand the Necronomicon a little bit deeper, because I'm still learning it every time I open it up. So let me know in the comments anything else, any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, issues. Feel free to shoot me an email at priestofthenecro@gmail.com for any help with the gatewalking, or the Necronomicon in general, or any other magical or spiritual subject that you would like me to respond to or make a video on. Thanks to every one of you for all of the support, and let me know what you guys think. Good hunting.